What is up, Master Duel fans? James Polk here. We are back for something new to try out. New decks, as you guys saw from this hand. Shouldn't be no surprise about what I'm on. It is none other than Traptrix. Traptrix is a series of plants and insects, and the mission of the deck revolves around the whole normal trap cards. So, with that being said, let us guide to honor the structure deck release of Beware of the Traptrix. Traptrix Mermelio. And the way how the Traptrix monsters work is that they all share the same thing, which is unaffected by whole normal traps in terms of the gimmicks, while the extra deck is unaffected by traps while it has material, the XZ, and then the links, specifically link summoned, unaffected by traps. So, first things first, on the Traptrix. Traptrix Mermelio, unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps, all of them, again, share the same thing. When this card is normal summon, add one whole normal trap from deck to hand, so Stratos of whole traps. And then, if this card is special summoned, target one spell trap your opponent controls, kill it, and both of those effects are not once. Traptrix Nepenthes. If you activated a whole normal trap outside of the damage step, you can either add or special one Traptrix straight from your deck that isn't Nepenthes. Traptrix Dionea. Upon normal summon, target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special it in defense, so monster reborn in Traptrix. And then when this card is special, target one whole normal trap in your graveyard, reset button it, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if it's still there on the field. And then Traptrix Mantis. When this card is normal summon, Stratos of Traptrix monsters, and then you can add one Traptrix monster. No, we already got that covered. Stratos of Traptrix monster upon normal summon. Quite the long night, you guys. Quite the long night. And then, once per turn, as a quick effect, target one set spell trap you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, you can optional set a spell trap from your hand. Traptrix Atrax. You can activate whole normal traps from your hand. The activation and effects of normal traps activated on the field cannot be negated, which is extra nice. Traptrix Genlisi. You can tribute this card, set two whole normal traps with different names, one from deck, one from graveyard, but banish them whenever they leave the field. And then hard ones on Genlisi. And then Vesiculo. One of the following effects per turn and only once that turn, so one effect or the other can do both. Send one set trap you control to the grave, free special from hand, and then if you control no cards in your spell trap zones, you can banish this from graveyard, target one whole normal trap in your graveyard, reset it to your field. The two XZs of Rafflesia as well as Alamaris. Both are unaffected by traps while it has material. And then each of the following effects of Alamaris once, while hard once on the detach effect of Rafflesia. Traptrix monsters you control that isn't Rafflesia can't be killed by battle or effects. Your opponent cannot target Traptrix monsters except Rafflesia within card effects, so anti-target can't be killed by battle or effects. And then once per turn, anyone's turn, detach one and send one whole normal trap that meets its activation conditions from deck to graveyard. This effect becomes that trap card. And then elements here, detach two at the same time, special one level 4, inset or plant from graveyard. If an opponent's monsters or monsters more than one leaves the field just because of your card effect and is now in the grave or banished outside of the damage step, detach one, target one of them, special summon to your field. Traptrix Sera, the power source of this deck. Non-link Traptrix monsters to make it, so basically any of the main deck ones and the XZs. Each of the following effects of Sera once, and not during the damage step. Normal trap card triggers, it doesn't matter who triggers it. Free special a Traptrix from your deck with a different name than the cards you control. And then, if your other Traptrix monster effect is activated, set one whole normal trap straight from your deck. Traptrix Calaria. 2 insects and or plants to make it the whole Traptrix shtick. After you activate a whole normal trap, you can set it, instead of setting it to the graveyard, so reset button, and then during your end phase, you can target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. Now, as for the whole normal traps, specifically that relates to Traptrix and or trap hole cards based on the real shtick. Acid Trap Hole. Target one face down defense monster anywhere on the field, flip it face up, then kill it if it's 2,000 or less defense, or if it's 2,000 or more, put it back face down. Regular Trap Hole, normal or flip, with 1,000 or more, target that monster, kill it. White Hole, that's as if your opponent activates Dark Hole. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by that Dark Hole's effect. In this context, opponent plays Dark Hole, Rafflesia, send a White Hole, just so that your Traptrix monsters, specifically Rafflesia, ain't dying. Bottomless, we all know what's up with Bottomless. Summons a monster that is 1,500 or more attack, kill it, and then banish it after. Adhesion Trap Hole. When your opponent summons a monster, more than one, cut the attacks in half. Original attack in half. DD Trap Hole. When your opponent sets exactly one monster and nothing else, target that set monster and one monster you control, kill those targets, and if you do, banish them. Gemini Trap Hole. Technically this card does not count, but it has hole in the name, so we'll guide it for the sake of the content. Activate only when a Gemini monster that is treated as an effect monster gets killed by battle. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Once again, do not count this card because we hardly ever see Gemini monsters these days anymore, to tell you the truth. Giant Trap Hole. 2 or more monsters that are special summoned at the same time, kill all monsters everywhere on the field. Again, don't count the Giant Trap Hole either. And don't count the White Hole either. Treacherous Trap Hole. Obviously, we are a trap heavy deck, so do not count this card. If you have no traps in your graveyard, target 2 monsters everywhere on the field, destroy them. Once again, don't count this card. Deep Dark Trap Hole. When a level 5 or higher effect monsters, more than one, special summon, banish that level 5 or higher effect monsters. Void Trap Hole. When your opponent specials a monsters, more than one, with 2,000 or more attack, negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2,000 or more attack, and if you do, destroy it. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. When a monster that was special summoned this turn activates its effect on your opponent's field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy it. Time Space Trap Hole. Opponent specials from the hand or extra deck, spin it back, then lose 1,000 for each return monster. Double Trap Hole. If your opponent specials a monster in defense, banish those monsters that were summoned in and currently in defense. Trap Hole Spikes. When an opponent's monster that was normal or special this turn declares an attack, destroy that attacking monster, and if you do, burn your opponent equal to half of the original attack of that monster. Floodgate Trap Hole. When your opponent summons a monster, change it to face down. So Book of Moon, and monsters change to face down defense by this effect cannot change positions. Break Off Trap Hole. Whoever Link summons any monster that is not pointed to ends up dying by card effects. Network Trap Hole. When your opponent special summons a monster, or is more than one, from the main deck or graveyard, banish it face down. Chain Hole. When your opponent activates a monster effect in response to a card or effect activation, negate that opponent's effect, then your opponent can banish one card from their hand or deck with the same original name as that negated card. If for some reason they don't, or if they don't have another copy, you can banish one random card from their hand. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. When your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or graveyard, or banished, negate it, burn 2,000 to your opponent. And then other than that, that is literally every single trap hole, trap cards covered, as well as the Traptrix monsters. And if you guys notice about the extra deck count, is where I'm only play a small amount before anyone can roast me on the comments on the misplays or why I am not playing other extra deck cards like Redoer, Bagushka, any of that stuff from the extra deck. Guys, listen. This deck is going to be first time for everything, and I'm only sticking to pure builds because I'm all about the learning experience. So I want to experience on learning this deck for the first time and see what other future combo lines or control lines that I can do in the near future for the sake of Master Duel as well as TCG Land. But other than that, looking at this hand, I'd say we are off to a pretty excellent start. Oh, and obviously opponent goes first since losing the coin toss, of course. So incantation, so ritual based decks. Okay, BLS. Talismandra. Fires off the Imperm from Talismandra. Okay, that doesn't make a difference then, since pre-prep is a card. Add a ritual spell and a ritual monster from deck or graveyard whose name is mentioned on that ritual spell hard once. Dogmatica Macabre. So Dogmatica Ritual. And then if both White Knight and White Relic of Dogmatica are on the field, look at either extra deck or your opponent's and send one from it to the graveyard. White Knight of Dogmatica. Can't special from extra, they don't care. If your opponent activates a card or effect outside of the damage step, send one monster from your extra deck to your graveyard, and if you do, look at your opponent's extra deck and send one from it to the graveyard. What? This card gains attack equal to half the combined attack of those monsters sent to the graveyard until the end of this turn. Wild. Magician's Souls. Whoa, wait a minute. White Knight is a spellcaster? Why? Why did they make White Knight a spellcaster instead of a warrior when the card first existed? That's crazy, dog. Wow. Send away Super Soldier to draw one. Dogmatic Macabre. for White Knight. And now that White Knight of Dogmatica is on the field, that basically means anything I do in terms of activating the effects, I'm basically slaughtered. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to play this game the hard way. Set the judgment, normal Dionea over Magician's Souls. And I know what everyone is thinking. You should have been summoning Myrmilio to activate something. I could, but here's the thing though. White Knight is there. So that means if I activate something, White Knight is going to trigger, and I'm going to guess that he's going to toss out Entis to interrupt. So we're going to have to play this game the hard way. Another pre-prep. Blackluster Ritual, so that means Blackluster Soldier. Manju gets the Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos. Yo! Shatterfoil Magician's Souls. That's sick. Magician's Souls, sending Illusion of Chaos, special itself, send away Blackluster Ritual, draw one. Draws into Void Trap Hole. Normals the second Dionea. Dionea over Manju. Dionea over Souls. And one set. Set normal Vesiculo. Vesiculo into Sera. Whoa! Didn't even know Rafflesia had an animation. Nice. And now in this situation, knowing that White Knight is still there, now that we got Rafflesia out, it makes it so that Sera is not dying, and in case Rafflesia in this situation is where if I am reading this maneuver right, all we're going to do is, depends on what monster is he going to summon or activate something from the hand, graveyard, or banish, we're going to make sure none of this happens. Gateway of Chaos, getting BLS, Ritual, or Guide the Fierce Knight monster from deck to hand. Each time a monster card is sent from hand or field to the graveyard, place one spell counter on this max of 6. Remove 3, add 1 ritual spell from deck to hand. Activate Gateway to Chaos per turn. There's the break off trap hole just in case. Super Soldier Synthesis. BLS Super Soldier. Void Trap Hole triggers. White Knight. BLS Super Soldier. And Sera to Special Art of Traptrix. That would be Myrmilio. Special Charging Guide of Fierce Knight. Tosses out Entis. Myrmilio kills the field spell. Entis attempts to kill off Traptrix Trap Hole, but Rafflesia is going to send off Gravedigger to stop the Entis. Sera sending the Floodgate. Are you actually kidding me? Main deck, the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode? Wild dog. No freaking way, dude. Wow. Top deck's Mantis. And we chose not to activate Mantis because if we do that, White Knight of Dogmatica is going to cause trouble again. So, normal summon Mantis, do not activate the effects, link summon into Sera, and see ya bye-bye, break off trap hole activates. Sera, Specials Myrmilio, mandatory effect. Sera, setting the Grave Digger. Myrmilio and Sera, 424 total. Gateway to Chaos again. Gets the Super Soldier. Normal Myrmilio. And based on my calculations, that is enough damage to finish off. Double Myrmilio and Sera for game. So guys, that's gonna do it for the beginner's guide with the intense matchup with the Traptrix. And of course, that is my choice of this season's go-to deck for season 15. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And I'll catch you guys next time.